Are you and your team struggling to get the most out of your software? Do you feel like you're paying way too much money for what you're getting right now? Are you thinking about switching tools for the hundredth time? If your software isn't living up to your expectations, swapping it out for something new is a tempting solution, but in many cases, the issue isn't the app itself or even its features. The issue is how you're using the app, and changing the app isn't going to fix the problem. Hi, I'm Tom from xray.tech, the workflow company. And at Xray, we help companies to design the way that work gets done with the tools that they already use. In this video, I'm going to explain why, more often than not, you don't need to switch software to get the results that you want. Instead, using automation to connect your tools together will create consistency, trust, and confidence among your team. If you'd like to see more workflow design and automation tips every single week, prove you're human, click that like button and subscribe to our channel. Now let's get to it. Any modern company uses a lot of SaaS tools, and no matter how many you're using, it's tempting to just add one more to the stack or to switch out an old tool for a new one. Before I launched xray.tech, I founded, ran, and eventually sold a digital design agency called Checkmate. At Checkmate, we went through about every single task management app there is. We used Basecamp, Trello, Asana several different times. We even tried Monday.com for a while, and we used more task management apps than I can honestly even remember. But in the end, none of them really made a difference. Now, don't get me wrong, my team at Checkmate was a group of talented and motivated people. They had no problem getting their work done. But the task management apps we kept cycling through had very little to do with that. And ultimately, the apps didn't give us what we were looking for. Me and my leadership team were not trying to get people to stay on task or stay busy. We wanted to get a high level view of every single project. We needed to see how work was getting done so that we could capacity plan and quote upcoming projects. And if you're running an agency, you know exactly how important that is. We wanted to give our clients realistic timelines. We wanted to prevent our team from having to crunch to get work done. We always struggled to find that balance, and switching tools really didn't help. Today, at Xray, we're using a custom task management system in Notion based on Thomas Frank's Ultimate Task Template. And now, we're able to get those exact insights I was always chasing back at Checkmate. But the key difference here is not that we've switched to Notion instead of Asana, Trello, Basecamp, or some other task management app. What really matters is how we create and manage tasks and the systems we've built around task management. That's the key. It's not the app that really matters. It's how we're using it as an organization consistently and how we make it fit our existing workflows seamlessly. Before you make the switch, before you ask your team to migrate all of their data and start over from square one with a new application, consider these questions. What do you want to get from the new app that you're not getting now? What processes do you and your team use the app for? And could you build any no-code systems that support consistent use of the app? Exploring these questions will help prevent you from needing to make yet another switch that will cost your teams time and resources. You really don't know how green the grass is on the other side of the tool transition, so it's a serious endeavor to think about. And if you need to try a new app, getting answers to these questions will help you actually pick the right one for your goals. Let's take a closer look at these questions and how they can help guide you to make the right decision. First, what do you want to get out of the software in question? Try going beyond the basic functionality of the app. For instance, with our task manager, we obviously want our team members to be able to create tasks and track their progress. But the larger goal was to be able to gather data on how our team works and what is getting done and when. How long does it take to complete a project? How much of our time and resources are we devoting to each individual member or client? Are we able to meet our projected timelines for project completion? These were the data points that we were actually looking for. Ultimately, most task management apps offer features to track projects and tasks, and to sort them by client, project, and status. So the real issue is less with the tool that we were using, and more with the way that we were using it. At Xray, we've made sure to create a standardized process for task creation and management. We've made a clear distinction between tasks and projects, and we've made an extremely simple way for anyone on our team to create a fully documented task. Because ultimately, the biggest problem I encountered with task management apps at my old company wasn't missing one or two specific features. It's that the team members wouldn't know if the work that they were about to do constituted an entirely new project or just a new task within a project. Plus, it was often too much of a hassle to stop what you were doing just to make a new task. So they often wouldn't actually track the work that they were doing, which in the end undermined our big picture goal of tracking how the entire team works. Making sure our team knows exactly how and when to create tasks at Xray has made our task management system much more successful. For another example, with a CRM, you certainly want to be able to track the progress of every lead and deal you interact with. But the strategic purpose of having a CRM for your company is likely more about the metadata that the CRM can gather for you. You want to know how many of your leads are closing so you can see if your sales team is meeting your sales targets. You want to see the source of each lead so you know which channels are giving you the best referrals. Virtually any CRM can do this for you, but the key is to ensure that your team is entering the data clearly, correctly, completely, and promptly. Otherwise, you'll end up in the same situation as my old company faced with the task management app. Your app might be just fine, but you'll be missing the data that you actually want to collect. This topic of data creation, whether it's data that refers to tasks or leads or something else, takes us neatly to the last question I want to address today. What no-code systems can you build to support your team's consistent usage of an app? This can certainly be a trickier question, but it's the sort of thing that we specialize in at Xray. There are a few different ways our team can create tasks, but the primary method that we encourage actually starts in Slack. All we have to do to create a new task is to write a message in a relevant channel in Slack. Then, we just react with a custom emoji that corresponds to the team member we want to assign the task to. And we even have a backlog emoji if the task isn't ready to be assigned yet. We've set up an automation in Make and Airtable that will then take that message and create a task with it in Notion. It will automatically add it to the project that we've associated with the Slack channel, and it will assign it to the correct person. It will also fill in fields with our pre-configured defaults, like setting a due date 7 days after the current date. We love this system because it's quick and easy to use. It keeps everything visible for the entire team, and it's where conversation and tasks happen. It also ensures that all of the vital information is present for every single task that we create, and it dramatically reduced the number of uncategorized or miscategorized tasks that would make our data meaningless. Workflow automation tools like Zapier, Make, and Airtable aren't just about saving time. They also help you create standardized, reliable processes like our Slack Task Maker. They ensure that your team creates complete and useful data each time they touch your systems, and you can use the apps in the way that you want. For our CRM example, you might want to create a simple Airtable form that your team can use to enter their leads. This way, you can ensure that every lead is created with all the required information, and none of the essential fields are skipped. To make things simpler, you could also exclude any fields and attributes that you aren't particularly interested in tracking. Simple automations for tasks like data entry can help make sure that your team is using each app correctly, and in turn help you accomplish your big picture goals with the app. We all use a long list of software every day to do our jobs. As we start to get frustrated with the apps at our disposal, our first instinct is often to switch to something new. But in many cases, you just need to rethink how you're using your software. What do you want to accomplish with it? How is your team using it? And can workflow automation help them to use it more consistently and correctly? More often than not, answering these questions will save you and your team from a costly software switch. If you've enjoyed this video, like and subscribe for more automation tips every single week. If you'd like to learn more about low-code and no-code automation, follow us on LinkedIn, Twitter, or Facebook, and you can find all of our content on our website at xray.tech. You can check all those links in the description down below, and as always, don't forget, keep the flow.